Hi BookTube, I'm Zina and this is Beating Around the Books. I apologize for being absent for a good 10 days or so. I've built up quite the backlog of tags. This is not actually something new, but it's not really getting any better. One of the reasons being that I tend to not be very quick to respond to a lot of these prompts. I really need to rack my brain. And so I keep putting them off, even though I think some of them are really lovely. To at least do one, because it is Tag Tuesday, I've decided to just go with one that is very, very simple and short, because it didn't take as much thinking about. A lot of it is just sort of impromptu answering. I might add in another little update because I've been absent. After it, let's just get into the tag and see how long it takes me. So today I would like to do the Moody Reader Tag, which I have now forgotten to check who has originally created it, but I was tagged by Roz at Scallydandling about the books. I slightly annoyed her to tag me, even though, I don't even need more tags at the moment, but I wanted to do it because I am such a mood reader. And she said she would very much appreciate hearing what on earth a mood reader even is. So we'll see. Number 1, do you consider yourself a mood reader? Yes. Should we expand on this? So I do like making lists and stuff. I like to make plans, but most of the time these plans get derailed, and then I feel more or less guilty about that. It depends on whether these plans have been made for a specific reason, like a buddy read or a read along, or whether it's just been sort of my own plans. When it's my own plans, I don't really care too much. With other people, it's a bit different. I do tend to also stick to plans more if it is with other people, but I'm not gonna say that I've always been perfect with that. So I'm really good at also just putting way too much on my plate and overestimating how much time I will actually have. And then obviously finding that it's not the case. I consume quite a large chunk of my books in audiobook form, simply because you can do that whilst doing other stuff. And I've really gotten into that over the past few years, and certainly over the past, 2 years or so. And so lots of the books that are on my physical TBR get neglected because I tend to just go for other books that are either available on Script or that I can get on my Audible. And that happens, most of the time happens very, very haphazardly and randomly, whatever strikes my fancy sort of thing. Number 2, well, I guess I answered the question 2 as well. Do you set TBR lists and do you stick to them? Yes and no. This month, I've actually been relatively good with regards to my TBR because I had a lot of BookTube reading to do. And I did actually get through 3 of them, which I found quite remarkable, to be honest. Obviously, I can't talk about them. But other than that, did I read anything else from my TBR? Well, I started Fake Accounts, which was a buddy read with Rainer at Rainier Box, and I'm still not finished, and he's finished, so we need to get on with that. And the other books I plan to read, not so much. So it's a 50-50 thing. Did I read other books that weren't on the TBR? Absolutely. So I think it's a half and half sort of thing. I don't think I've ever succeeded in reading my whole TBR. It's just not in me. Number 3, do books affect you emotionally? Does the mood of a book rub off on you? Yes and no. Of course, they can affect me emotionally, depending on, the writing style and also the content that is in there. But I don't think it normally lingers for too long, which is good. I mean, there are a few exceptions, of course, but generally speaking, no, the mood doesn't like rub off on me and, affect the rest of my day, which is good because I read a lot of depressing stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think it can dampen my mood slightly, or even considerably, if I read a lot of depressing things in a row. Can I speak today? And then I do tend to kind of go and try and find a lighter read for in between, so that I don't get too dragged down. I can't speak today. Anyway, number 4. When you're feeling sad, what do you read? Or do you not read when sad? It depends on what level of sad we're talking about. So I think if I'm just feeling a bit down in the dumps, I think I could probably read almost anything that I'm generally interested in, unless it's really, really depressing, and especially if it's nonfiction, then I don't know, then that might affect me negatively. But other than that, I might read a childhood favorite, or Terry Pratchett, which I know has been my answer quite often. Not reading when sad. Yeah, no, I do read when I'm sad. But again, if it's like really, really, the absolute, I don't know, the depths of depression or something, no, then I probably won't read. It's not going to help me in any way, and I won't have the motivation to do so. Yeah. Number 5. Most often, do you use reading to escape, to learn, or to critically reflect? I think it's a combination of all of them, and I don't know if there's one that takes precedence over the other. Really, that again depends on my mood, I think. There's a time and place for escapist fiction, and I feel like a lot of people may have been feeling like this in the last year and a bit. Obviously, I like to learn from my reading and critically reflect. Yeah, maybe I do that less than, no, I don't know. Do I read to learn? Well, I do, but maybe it's not quite as pronounced as the other two. But then how do you learn when you're not critically reflecting stuff? It doesn't, I don't know. They're all good reasons to read, and I love them all. Number 6, what is a book that made you laugh out loud? So I have two for just the most recent ones. So the most recent fiction that made me laugh out loud was Exciting Times by Nisha Dolan. Now, I don't think this is necessarily a very funny book on the whole, but there are some observations that I found hilarious, and I did actually sort of cackle in the supermarket whilst listening to the audiobook. And then I had to rein it in so people wouldn't look at me weird. And then the other one is a non-fiction, which is Untenrum frei by Margarete Stokowski, which will sound weird when you know what it's about. It's a sort of modern day classic. Can you call it classic if it's modern day? Standard of feminist writing in German. Let's put it that way. The writer is roughly my age, I think. I think she's slightly older. But, so this is nonfiction and it's about feminism. Therefore, it's not actually that much to laugh about. But what made me laugh was, I think, the fact that she is roughly my age. And so a lot of the things she talks about, her childhood as well and growing up. And a lot of these sort of little details about her life growing up made me chuckle. Whatever that may mean. Otherwise, it's not good for laughs. Let's put it that way. Number 7. What is a book that has made you cry? Or if you don't cry, one that really moved you? This will come as no surprise. My answer is Hamlet by Maggie O'Farrell. That one really made me cry. I don't cry often at books. I get emotional, but I don't necessarily cry. The other one I can remember was a long, long time ago when I was 13, which was Franz Kafka's Metamorphosis. That one I also bawled my eyes out at the end of it. Yeah, those two. Moving, there's plenty that move me, but let's just stick with these two. Number 8, what is a book that you didn't even know how you felt about? I wasn't sure about this question. I was thinking maybe Milk-Fed, but then I thought, Milk-Fed by Melissa Broder, sorry. I discussed it in one of my recent videos, maybe the one from February or March. No, I don't know. A recent reads from March, I think. But then I thought, no, like, I felt conflicted about it. That is also a way of feeling about something and knowing how you feel about it, right? I'm conflicted. There are certain parts that I enjoyed, like the language, the writing itself, and other aspects that I talked about. We're not going to get into the same book again. And then other things that I was not happy about or maybe unsure about. But that's like the closest I can get to something I didn't know how I felt about. Yeah. Number 9, are you more likely to read on a sunny day or a cloudy day? No. I read on all days, or almost all days anyway. There's something to be said about a rainy day and snuggling up, and all that stuff. But goodness me, I really love reading in the sun, not in the sun, but I really like reading in, on the beach and stuff like that, or in the park when it's sunny. Why not? It's all beautiful. What's the next one? 10. Do you usually set the mood when you read? Music, lights, smell, etc. No. I just don't. I don't see the point. No, I mean, not. Do I see the... at the moment I read mostly at home because I'm not going anywhere. But generally I read, on any commute or when I'm traveling. Sometimes I read in queues and in the doctor's office. So there's no mood setting there. And at home, I think the closest I would get to is, getting comfortable in a whatever preferred reading position and maybe having a drink nearby. Well, and lights insofar as, you need sufficient lighting to read. Other than that, no. Music, no. I don't think I've ever deliberately put on music to read, or maybe once. And then the other thing, I have recently liked some of those ambient noise things, but I use them rarely. Like, I've gotten into the meaning that every so often I find it more difficult to concentrate when it's completely silent, which is weird. And it's not always the case. It just depends. And then sometimes when I feel like that, I might put on one of those. But that is the exception to the rule. And then the last one, can you leap from book to book, or do you need buffer time between them? That again depends on my mood and the book, and probably also the time that I'm reading. Generally, I probably just, put down one and start with the next one quite often. But, every so often there will be a book that really moves me so much that I just don't feel, it still lingers in my mind and I can't really commit to a new one right then and there. The last one was Hamlet. I've talked about it ad nauseum. So, but I think generally not that much of a buffer time needed. Sometimes I might need a buffer book. Because like I said, if there's been too much heavy stuff, maybe I'll read a lighter book in between. Palate cleanser, as a lot of people call it. So that is the last question. We're supposed to tag people, and I didn't do any work. I didn't look up who's already done it, and I know this book tag has been going around quite a bit. So I'm just going to tag one person very randomly, which makes sense since this is a Moody Reader Tag, and that is the person whose video I watched last before filming this, and that is Books and Sushi, who has also kindly tagged me in another one just in that video. So I thought I'll repay the favor, and I would like to see your answer if you haven't already done it. If you have, I apologize. Okay, thanks so much for watching. What else is there? Maybe let's just do a little update, or maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, I've had some book mail today, and I'm so happy. So I've been waiting for a while for some books from this press. It's an independent press that specializes in translated fiction from Asia. They are called Honford Star Press, and they've come onto my radar through Mel at Mel's Bookland Adventures, and they are by Honford Star, and I've received these two beautiful books, Cursed Bunny and what is this one called again? To the Warm Horizon. They're both translated from the Korean, and if you can see, they actually put the translator on the title. Isn't that nice? I have ordered them directly from the publisher, and because Brexit is a bitch, sorry, this has taken a little over 2 weeks to arrive. And I've actually got another order that I placed earlier, like that I placed in the last week of March or so, and that has not yet arrived. So I don't know if it got lost or if it's somewhere sitting around in a customs office and not getting, passed through. But I'm so glad to have at least gotten these two, and look how beautiful they are. They're so nice. Wait, actually, this warrants to also have the back shown. The designs are all commissioned by artists, or almost all, commissioned by? No, they commission artists to design the covers from the country where the writer is from. This is the back of this one. Which I find makes for interesting covers that we may not be used to in the English-speaking market. And I can't wait for the other ones to arrive. I really hope they will. I've sent them an email, we'll see. Other than that, what else have I done? Honford Star also had an ebook sale for their classics, which I obviously had to use to buy the 3 remaining ones that I hadn't already ordered. Have I bought anything else? Oh yeah, I think I've also received Severance by Ling Ma. Anyway, this is getting rambly. Thank you so much for watching, and I think the next video should be, either the next or the one after, will be the Q&A that I've gotten some lovely questions for. So I'll see you soon. Bye bye.